Bitcoin, that thing everyone is talking about, but only 3 people actually understand how it works, and I'm not one of them, could actually be something small businesses and personal brands should start to consider as a payment option now or in the very near future on their website. And if not that, just an option for transferring money overseas. Before you say,
"No, Ed, Bitcoin's made up nonsense. I'm not getting involved with anything I don't understand, bozo."
I would ask you to explain to me right now how regular money works. Do you know where it came from, how it became valuable, how it works, why a dollar's value is different to a British pound's value, who tracks all of this, and also how do governments just make more of it? And if you realise, like me, you don't actually have the kind of understanding of traditional money that you'd expect to have of Bitcoin before you thought of it seriously as an option for your business, then maybe stick with this video to the end because it might inspire you to learn more about it. It might not, but at least you'll have tried. This video is simply here to run through the pros and cons of using Bitcoin as a payment service, either on your website or to replace the way you transfer money overseas, so you can get one step closer to making your own mind up. To start off with, what is currently happening so that Bitcoin looks like it's hitting the mainstream? Well, MasterCard this week said that it would begin allowing merchants to accept some cryptocurrencies on its network later in 2021. And they said they will cut out inefficiencies, letting both consumers and merchants avoid having to convert back and forth between crypto and traditional to make purchases. So they're trying to make this easier for everyone. PayPal also plans to allow consumers to use their crypto balances when they shop with PayPal merchants. And there's like 29 million of them. Microsoft, Expedia and Barnes & Noble accept Bitcoin, and Tesla just invested 1.5 billion in it, and Amazon and even KFC in some regions are considering adding it as a payment option. And I don't know about you, but my rule in life is always do what the Colonel does. So if these guys are thinking about it or actually doing it, then it's becoming mainstream. Now, does that make your ears prick up? No? Oh, well, that might be because you're thinking, well, how would this all work as a small business? Sounds really confusing, and it sounds like it's going to be tons of work to set up. But it's actually not that hard. It's going to get way easier too. So first, let's look at how you could accept Bitcoin as a payment on your website. When PayPal have this set up, you would imagine that it's going to be as simple as using regular PayPal to take payments. I couldn't actually find anything about their proposed setup, but it's not in their interest to make things hard for us because they profit from things being easy. Otherwise, you can now sign up with a payment processing service like BitPay, which is integrated with over 40 e-commerce platforms like WooCommerce, Gravity Forms and Shopify. And then there are WordPress plugins for this merchant, as well as plenty of others like CoinGate for WooCommerce. So it's pretty similar to how you would normally add payments, which if you don't know how to do, your hired website nerd will probably find a doddle. And then for transferring money, well, you can just have people send payments from their wallet to yours. A wallet being where you store your cryptocurrency and your bitcoins and your doodahs. That's really easy. You just type in someone's address, select the amount, and off it goes. Just don't put in the wrong number. So Bitcoin appears to be going mainstream, and it's also pretty easy to set up. So let's have a look at the pros and then the cons, and then you can work out if you should care. Pros. Well, it's cheap. Every month when I look at what PayPal and Stripe take away from my own business online, I wonder how the entire planet has not rioted and torn down their HQs. What are they doing for this money? I mean, 2.9% plus 30 cents a transaction. I really hope your solid gold toilet seats don't make your bum too cold. Luckily, Bitcoin's here. Woo! Small business merchants can find Bitcoin exchanges with fees under 1% attraction. But if the payment's peer-to-peer, so let's say you paid to hire someone overseas, you could potentially transfer via Bitcoin, nothing to pay. Everyone wins, which is amazing if you have remote teams all around the world. The second pro is speed. So if you're a business that sends or receives payments internationally, you will find most payments are quite slow. Bitcoin, however, allows one party to send payment to another with no third-party facilitation. So to put that in real terms, sending money is usually like driving to the bus stop, then waiting for the bus to get you whilst you stand in the rain and get wet, and then it finally arrives and it slowly takes you to your destination. Bitcoin is like getting in your car and just flying straight there. My car can't fly, but you know what I mean. Payments are made within minutes. The third pro is there's no chargeback. So a chargeback is when a customer disputes a charge from a business and asks the card issuer to reverse it. Now, these are supposed to protect consumers from unauthorized transactions, but they can mean a massive headache for businesses. When a chargeback happens, the funds are held from the business until the card issuer decides what they're gonna do about this whole flipping situation. They also tend to cost the business, and it can cost quite a lot. So Bitcoin waves goodbye to this because it's peer-to-peer, so no third party can return a payment to the customer. The decision then is all down to the merchant alone. So it's not great to be the consumer, but the business wins. The fourth pro we've got is safety. So one of the biggest advantages of Bitcoin is security. It's extremely unlikely that you will be defrauded when someone pays via Bitcoin. Now, it's certainly far safer than credit card payments where fraudsters can make purchases and then get a product or service and then hit you with a chargeback or a payment reversal. Number 5, it's cool. So this one you can take and leave, but there's some data behind it. Millennials have previously found investing boring. That's a fact, apparently. Cryptocurrencies have actually seen them flying in to invest. I'm a millennial and most of us just love technology, so just offering Bitcoin as a payment, even if nobody ever uses it, is going to say something about your business to those people. I actually think marketing the fact that you accept Bitcoin will make your business appear a bit more current, innovative, edgy, and some people might call it stupid, but if you know your audience will like it, then why not? And then the final pro is it's a roller coaster ride. So right now, all Elon Musk has to do is fire out a sneeze that sounds like he's saying Bitcoin, Bitcoin, and the price will shoot up. So if someone buys my animation pack for £15, a minute later it could be worth 18, which is great. Can't wait for hay fever season. So if you're like me, you have a side business you're only reinvesting into and don't actually have to rely on an income from it, then it could just be a way to invest all of the money you make simply by holding onto it as Bitcoin. Which brings us onto the cons. Number 1, it's a roller coaster ride. This is the exact opposite of the pro. Right now, Bitcoin's value changes more than my underpants. Way more. Like every second is different. And it could go back down to being worth 6 cents like it once was. And that's what's going to stop most people. And that's it. Seriously, I couldn't find any other cons that were actually cons. There's just this massive elephant in the room that Bitcoin's value could go down a lot. Now the thing is, to me right now, I know my target audience for my side business. I know they are techie and they love YouTube, and that Bitcoin is big on YouTube. You really can't escape it right now. So that's why I've made the decision to rebuild my website and offer Bitcoin as a payment. I'm going to promote that I offer it because it feels like a marketing opportunity that even if I lose money on it, will plant a seed in the right people's mind that I'm a little bit different to the other options out there, and I'm willing to risk that costing me even a loss. Actually seems like a good investment right now. Of course, you might not be able to do this, but hopefully I've given you enough to want to actually find out a little bit more about Bitcoin, and maybe if it is something that you want to innovate with or just totally ignore. That's on you, boo.